Well, that has made Group 1 a lot more simpler now. New Zealand have beaten Ireland by 35 runs. Their net run rate is now plus 2.1. They are all but assured of a spot in the semi-finals. Ish Sodhi, Mitchell Santner, the Stars with 2 wickets apiece. 3 wickets from Lockie Ferguson and Tim Southee also took 2 wickets. But Trent Bolt struggled. Kane Williamson finally got his first 50 of the T20 World Cup.
The first time he batted like it was the T20 format.
Yes, and now New Zealand's win has made it very, very hard now for Australia.
Very, because they could win their match, but if you look at the net run rates, 2.113 plus 2.113 is New Zealand.
And breaking news, Aaron Finch ruled out of this clash because of a hamstring injury that he suffered.
I thought side strain.
It's a hamstring injury. Right? Yes.
He went off. So did Stoinis, I believe.
But Stoinis is fit.
Stoinis is fit, that's what we can
So
say.
Matthew Wade will lead the team today.
Very interesting. Matthew Wade.
Yes.
Is he the designated vice captain?
I don't know who is the vice captain in the Australia team. So Matthew Wade will lead the side
that
today.
Means Cameron Green comes in.
Mostly Cameron Green comes in. Yes.
No, to be fair, I think Ponting had made a bit of a stir. Remember, he said that I think they should drop Cummins, bring in Green, put the extra batsman/bowling all-rounder option.
Yep.
Now with Finch not there, I think
that fits itself. Yeah. I mean, Cummins has been really. You can change that last part, Anurag, in that headline. That Finch out. Wait to lead Australia. Okay, so that is the situation at this point in time.
But of course, this comes as a bit of a dampener, let's say a bit of a downer for Australia. But the things are already looking bleak for them, right?
Yeah. Not making
very
that much of a
realistic about the
difference.
whole situation.
Yes.
It doesn't change things much.
Well, according to the calculations, the target, if it is in excess of 100, 120, in order to overtake England, Australia has to chase it down in 12.4 overs.
But it's the same pitch, right?
Yeah, same pitch.
And be that easy.
And the victory margin.
We've seen how this pitch played out. It's not going to be easy. We saw the ball nip back in a couple of times. So,
65 plus runs. Australia will have to achieve a victory margin if they have to overtake England.
Right.
On the net run rate.
But still, England would be happy where they are. Because as Joss Butler by his own admission said, we play last, so we know the scenarios and we know what to do.
Exactly.
So they won't mind an Australia win right now. The situation remains the same. Of course, put some pressure on England to win their game against Sri Lanka. But they will know by what margin.
That pressure
Australia don't know yet. Australia just know that they need a big win. They don't have any numbers to play with really. Besides the 65 number which Sid just said.
Yes.
But
so that is about it. If Australia lose against Afghanistan today, game over.
In fact, if you look at the math, Australia mathematically can still overhaul New Zealand in net run rate, but to do that, they'll have to win by more than 185 runs.
Alright, so we're looking at a new low as far as Afghanistan getting
so they'd have to probably, like, I don't know, get
30 odd runs?
230 odd and then get them out for like 50 runs.
Yeah, inside 50 runs or something.
Not happening.
Not happening at all.
Yeah, we do feel for the Australian team's mathematician out there.
But they have
only can give the team management a number at the moment.
They only have themselves to blame for this
because they lost that first match.
The start of the tournament didn't go the way defending champions and the hosts would have liked.
Actually, New Zealand gave them a triple whammy. Any forecast for rain for the Proteas versus Dutch game? Nah, Dex. There is no chance of rain.
And like Nikhil was saying yesterday,
the worst of the rain is now
cold
past.
there for sure. Adelaide's much colder than the other venues, but things looking very clear in Adelaide.
Yeah, the worst of the rain actually was on the day when India was
it was in the other group. It was not in the India's group. It was in the other group.
The Indian group. Because Zimbabwe, Netherlands was under threat. But that went off without a thing.
But we didn't have those many games washed out over here, right?
Yeah, that was the first game that they played.
No, I'm saying if we're talking about washouts, actually more washouts have happened in Group 1. You had like 4 matches washed.
Exactly. Not as many in our group, the India group.
Only one. Zimbabwe versus South Africa.
Yeah.
And even that match could have gone to a result, mind.
Could have gone to a result. Yep.
Probably just 10 minutes here and there, and we could have had a result.
Yeah.
We were in what? 3 overs are done, right?
3.5.
3.5. So it was just about
24
1.1.
balls,
7 balls.
13 runs were
7
needed.
balls.
Yes. So today there is no rain forecast even for the South Africa game. And remember, I'll be doing a special explainer on Group 1, what needs to be, Group 2, what needs to be done.
I think Group 2 is the easier of the groups, right?
But you can still have India and Pakistan qualify.
You can. Yeah.
mathematically.
No. Even practically.
Practically,
Yes.
You then saying that South Africa could end up losing their game.
Stay tuned for that
To
explainer.
Netherlands.
Yeah.
I mean, if they do that, then they deserve all the choking jokes.
And perhaps
Well,
no more
they're
rain jokes
playing,
on them. No more rain jokes on them then.
Well, no, they are potentially playing against their forefathers. If you look at it, one is an orange shade and the other is a green shade. Afrikaans and
Afrikaans.
Yeah, so that's. So Arpan Datta, what's the scenario in Group 2? What are the scenarios of qualification?
That's what he's telling you. Just stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that
See, with
explainer.
Sri Lanka, it's simple. They will need Australia to lose.
Yes.
Australia lose and they beat England, then they get to 6 points.
Yep.
That's it. It's very simple for Sri Lanka actually,
Yes.
because net run rate's
They
not
just have
involved.
to win.
Yeah.
They win and hope Australia lose.
Lose.
Which is easier said than done, mind you.
Yes. So we could be seeing.
But possible. It's not like, Sri Lanka
No,
would be watching the.
That's the
Actually,
thing.
Sri Lanka are in a much better spot than Australia. at the
Exactly,
moment.
because
They're
net run rate
happier.
isn't a factor.
Exactly.
They
Net
can win
run
by
rate isn't
1
a
run
factor.
also if
Exactly.
Australia loses.
All they
they're
need is a
through.
win.
Exactly.
Yep.
Points.
And they need this game. They
And
need
the
this
latest
result.
update is that Afghanistan have chosen to bowl.
Oh, very interesting. I think they would back their bowling, which is their strength. And wait, Adelaide.
Rashid
Khan,
Yeah.
Adelaide's strikers.
Adelaide strikers.
Every one of them
yes.
is, you have
yes.
strikers, stars.
Yep, that is about to happen. So Afghanistan have chosen to bowl, and Matthew Wade is leading Australia because Aaron Finch is not in because of a hamstring injury. And if Australia exit the tournament, the last time we would have seen Aaron Finch probably
Matthew Wade,
in white
by
ball
the way,
colours.
skipper
Correct.
for today's match.
Yeah, very,
Yep.
very surprising of all
Yeah.
choices. I thought now would be, no, but then Warner still has the ban on him.
Warner still has the
That's
ban.
Technically.
But now they're contemplating. They're now contemplating giving him the captaincy.
Maybe yes, they will be hoping that Warner gets the captaincy for
since
the.
we are talking about Australia and we're talking about captaincy, who else do you see the hat sort of being given to then?
Cummins.
But Cummins in T20 is not a
he
guaranteed starter.
Is he the long-term captain for
No, but
Australia
then he's
then?
29. He's not that old also. He's 29.
There's no one else who wants to take the poison chalice of captaincy at this point in time in Australia because look, even with David Warner, 2023 at max you're looking at his
Yeah, he's
play.
not long term. Neither was Finch.
Neither was Finch.
Yeah.
So you need a long-term captain. Whether they want to go into Steve Smith, I am not so sure about
But
it.
he's not guaranteed a spot in the 11 at this
Yeah,
point.
at the moment.
Like
yeah.
we talk about Cummins, at least he's playing.
Or again, are we looking at split captaincy then?
We may have to look at split
Because
captaincy.
see, Cummins is already the ODI
Too
captain.
early for Cameron Green. Again,
Very early for Cameron.
very early.
I mean-
again, a good candidate going forward.
You know
for
who
them.
I would say would be a decent candidate if he stayed fit? Mitch Marsh.
Mitch Marsh.
He's captain.
Marsh.
He's captained India at Australia. Sorry, under 19 level.
The dark horse could be in white ball cricket, Alex Carey, if he gets a bigger
Yeah,
run.
you know, Alex Carey is seen as has been seen for many years as a leadership candidate within the Australian side. They've always been, but again, he's not a guaranteed starter.
And
He's
remember,
not
in the
a
ODI,
regular in the 11.
ODI
That's what goes
series,
against him.
in the ODI series that was there in West Indies,
He
it was
led.
Alex Carey who led, and they won 2-1. So Arpan Datta is asking, what are the equations for qualification in case of Australia? Okay, Australia have to win
Okay,
by
Sid just
big.
loves talking about qualification
Yeah, yeah.
scenarios these days.
Okay, before I get to the qualification,
Alright.
Cameron Green, David
As I said,
Warner,
Okay, he has a
but
game.
Steve
then.
Smith is back.
Eh?
Steve Smith
So
is
Green
back.
gets a game.
But who does Smith come in place of then?
Then there is Maxwell, Stoinis, Wade, Cummins, Richardson, Zampa, Hazelwood.
No Tim David.
No Stark. No Stark.
No Tim David.
So Tim David, yes, there were doubts about him as well.
Yes.
There were. Again, was it an hamstring issue as well?
Hamstring. I think it was.
I think
And
all
no
three
Stark.
Aussie players were
And no
facing the
Stark.
hamstring issue.
Interesting.
Yep.
No
No
Stark.
Stark, no David, and no
Finch. That means 3 of your certified starters are actually pretty much not playing
Yes.
today.
And you got 2 South Australians.
But of course, they have to
Zampa played
be
applied
forced
for-
changes. Have to be forced changes again in a must-win game.
Marsh, what's
Just
his name?
try and tell you why Stark isn't there in the bowling lineup.
Stark is an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean
There
that
was
is.
No real changes
And
there
in
for
the- yep.
Afghanistan there though.
There's Usman Ghani, there's Rahmanullah Gurbaz, Ibrahim Zadran, Gulbuddin Naib is in.
Gulbuddin Naib
Darvish.
became a meme.
Najib, Najibullah Sadran, Mohammad Nabi, Rashid Khan, Mujibur Rahman, Naveen ul Haq and Fazal Haq Farooqi.
So, according
Farooqi would enjoy this pitch, by the way, I feel.
Matthew Wade just said that Stark makes way. So maybe it's workload management.
Yeah, worklood management.
Because he said Finch is out, so is Tim David. Out means ruled out. Stark makes way. So I think it's workload management.
Workload management. Oh my goodness! I think that is a very, very.
And to be fair, this ground is slightly on the slow side. They're spinners. Mujib, Rashid, and Rashid do know this ground better than anyone.
Yeah.
Nabi barely bowls nowadays.
Yeah. And Afghanistan have chosen to bowl, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Why do you want to prolong the suspense? Because remember,
Right.
if Afghanistan had batted, New Zealand were through to the semis. Yes.
How so?
How's that? What's
Because the qualifying scenarios are such that it is NRR related, so chasing
Is more advantageous.
more advantageous.
Oh.
So Australia have been inserted in. So now Australia will depend on a victory margin for their
Actually,
NRR.
right, yes.
Victory margin, but chasing you'll have number of overs, because as I said,
Number
net
of
run
overs
rate
is really tough.
calculation.
Yeah.
Total number of runs divided by the total number of overs minus the total number of runs given
divided by
total
the
number of
of overs bowled. That's right?
Just
finally,
FYI.
I'm going to be talking about NRR also going forward then along with it.
Yeah.
Just
At least I'm going to give it a try then.
I used to have nightmares about failing my math exam, so I hate this. All of this.
Yep. So Dex is asking me a repeat of the 2015 World Cup semi-final rugby rivals. Essay was, would the Proteas have their revenge this time? Yes. 2015, imagine that entire generation of greats. A.B. de Villiers, Faf du Plessis, Hashim Amla, Dale Steyn, Mone Mokel, Vernon Philander. They did
Kyle
not.
Abbott.
Kyle Abbott. They did not win the World Cup.
Yeah.
All those greats. Never. Even Jack Callis, Gary Kirsten, Hansi Cronje,
They've had generations of great players.
Graham Smith,
Did you mention Herschel Gibbs?
Herschel Gibbs. Yes.
So yeah.
So that is why if can you go up a bit? Can you go a bit? Okay, so rugby rivals, yes, Proteas, the Springboks versus the All Blacks. That is a very, very good situation in rugby, but cricket-wise, it's heavily skewed towards South Africa. Arpan Datta, equations for the qualification case of Australia. So now Australia will have to post a massive total, number one.
I think we should be targeting 250
plus?
250.
220 plus?
In order to get their net run rate past
England.
New Zealand,
Now New Zealand.
they
of
have
course,
to
yeah.
win by 185 runs. It is not happening.
More than 185, in fact.
Yeah. And if they have to overhaul England, they have to win by a
So
margin of
stay tuned because
70
we're possibly
plus.
in for a record total then.
70
From an
plus.
Australian standpoint.
Yep. So Neelakandan's asking India versus England in Adelaide. Virat comes into party and most likely India versus New Zealand's final
If India-New Zealand final happens, then I think New Zealand fans will be very, very happy.
Very happy.
at Melbourne. But on this kind of a wicket, I don't know. See, this World Cup has been about bucking the trend.
It's been unpredictable for sure.
Yeah.
So India can end 35 years of pain. I mean, not 35 years, 19 years of pain.
Wait, they did win in 2003.
But 35 years, just one win.
No, exactly.
92 lost, 99 lost, 2003 won, 2000 lost, then 7 you lost, 16 you lost, 19 you lost. So that is why big burden of history for India when it comes to New Zealand. But yeah, Australia, they have to win by over 70 runs so that they can overall England. But that is also not a guarantee if England win by a big margin against Sri Lanka. And they are through into the semi-finals. Anyway, Australia, if they are out, they have to blame only themselves because of that
first
match.
game. And New Zealand losing to England. Because they needed New Zealand to beat England.
Yeah.
That's why.
Because England then would have been on 3 points.
Yes. And this game, today's games would have been very, very...
That's it. No real energy.
Yeah.
So we don't have a dead rubber until November 6th. We don't have a dead rubber.
We could have just one day.
In fact, even November 6th, you won't have a dead rubber.
No,
November 6th is all the group 2 matches,
November
right?
6th is just our group playing, right?
Yeah, and even our group,
India's
there's no
group.
dead rubber.
There's no dead rubber there.
And that's what I'm saying. Till November 6th, we are not having a dead rubber.
No, when you say till November 6th, it
I
means
thought
that November 6th,
6th
there will be a dead
dead
rubber.
rubber.
No, there'll be no.
You mean till the end of the group stages?
Yeah.
That would be more accurate.
So for the first time since 2007, first time,
There's no guaranteed qualifiers already.
Every team has suffered a loss before entering the semi-finals.
Interesting.
Every team. There is not a single unbeaten team in this T20 World Cup group stages. New Zealand lost to England. I think they lost to Ireland. Their game against Australia got washed out. So, pretty bad situation at this point in time. So, go down, Anurag. I think we'll take a last couple of questions and then we can just.
We can stay till the end, till the match.
Okay, Hardik Pandey, not Hardik Pandya, Hardik
As Sid
Pandey.
would have liked.
If Pakistan is thinking that Netherlands beat South Africa, Zimbabwe, then it is equivalent to counting stars in the day, maybe because that day no rain, Pak media is raining in the air. Yeah, I mean, see, you all know that.
It's a very unlikely circumstance.
Very unlikely. I mean, Netherlands beating South Africa would
in
be,
itself tough.
I mean, it would be the biggest sporting upset if I have to count it in that way. I mean, South Africa, when Netherlands defeated England, that itself was massive.
Yeah.
This will be off
That
the
was
charts.
back in 2009.
Also in 2014.
Also in 2014. 2009 was the first game, I think, for
Lords,
England.
yes,
Yeah?
Lords.
Yeah, at the Lords, correct.
Yep. So yes, South Africa, if they beat Netherlands, they are through. Zimbabwe, looking at the fight that Zimbabwe have put up in this.
But you know, what I would like to see in that match between India and Zimbabwe, I would like good bowling from Zimbabwe, because again they've got good bowlers there. We saw them bowl tight lines to Pakistan. Yes, Pakistan did commit harakiri, one can say, a couple of stupid run outs over here and there, but there was good disciplined bowling right towards the end. They didn't have a lot of runs to defend.
See, they've got good bowlers. See, you've got Blessing Muzrabani. Who's
So
been
that just trains India well going into, let's say,
Yeah.
the semi-final stage.
You've got Richard Garawa, who's a left-hander who's been bowling really accurately.
yeah.
Blessing Muzrabani has been good. Craig Evans has been really good. Then you've got Luke Yongwei, who's a part-timer but who's taken wickets at crucial times. Then you've got Sikandar Raza.
Sikandar Raza, remembered he could bowl like Sunil Narayan only in his 30s.
Yeah.
Yes. And
But
you
he's
also
their mystery man.
Yeah.
He's their
and you got
mystery man.
Sean Williams with the left arm option who can dart it in. So their bowling has variety and depth, but
The batting is a bit of a concern.
batting is a concern, big concern. And remember, if not for Sikandar Raza or Ryan Burl, or if you want any of the other players, they just don't step up to the plate. So
Yeah, and there's nothing against them. I mean, to be fair, Zimbabwe, the kind of run they've had this time around, very, very impressive.
Very impressive.
Very impressive.
They'd
But then-
in fact, you know, they'll probably be one of the teams that'll take some heart from this tournament, despite whatever the points table might
Yeah,
say.
because they would not see that the format is such that.
Perhaps they could also say something that Shakib said, we're not here to win the tournament.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Sada Bada is saying New Zealand will get the cup, sure. I'm
Are you being
tempted to
sarcastic or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm tempted to say yes, they might, but I don't think so. Far too
And
inconsistent.
Let's not forget, we're looking at new champions every time. There's only been that
One
one
repeat,
occasion,
yeah.
exactly, one occasion
Yep.
where we saw the
Could
same
be South
champions.
Africa or New Zealand, but if South Africa or New Zealand play in the semi-final, then. But that might not happen. Oh, but it will happen.
It will, it will.
It will happen.
It will.
Oh no! Oh,
Because
no.
New Zealand are most likely topping the group and South
Most
Africa
likely.
most likely finishing
And
second.
so are India for that matter, so yeah.
No, India are topping the group.
India topping the
And
group.
if they beat
but
Zimbabwe.
if New Zealand top the group, they'll play second, you know. As
So
a second
South Africa.
Exactly.
So-
yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, but then in that case, there is advantage South Africa. They have that. They would want to do well
And New Zealand would want to play India.
in the final.
In the final.
Yeah.
India perhaps won't, but again, but like we were talking the other day, India would not want to face an Australia or an England.
but they are going to face.
But
them
they are
technically.
now. Again, you would rather face a New Zealand as compared to these two teams. Just because of the fire.
I would not want to face any of these teams. Because
I was tempted. I
for
mean,
me,
yesterday in the chat, I mean,
Yeah.
I was tempted. They would want to play New Zealand in the
Semi-final?
semi-final. I'm like, really? Okay. I mean,
no, you would not want to play any of these teams. This
But
is
you'll
like-
have to.
Yeah, you'll have to because even for that matter, England.
Yeah.
England, I think for me are the one team that don't have a weak link if they're all firing. They don't. Oh, top order batting sorted. Middle, lower order sorted. Bowling has a ton of variety, all effective options. So, which team would you want to be taking on? And New Zealand they have your number in ICC tournaments. So,
But
Neither of
again,
these.
New Zealand look complete as well, right? Don't they?
you know, New Zealand had maybe two weaknesses. One is death bowling, and the other was Kane Williamson's form. He's found that today. So maybe death bowling. But then how good is India's death bowling? Right
Exactly.
yeah, India. See, they have just hung in there, but that is just about But against a better opposition,
You might struggle. That's the thing.
because see, you had only all respect to Pakistan and all that, but then the one, you may say, best team that was a potential title contender team was South Africa.
South Africa.
You
And
came
you
up
lost.
short in
yeah.
that. Your weaknesses were exposed in that. So I think India playing, if suppose England wins, they play in Adelaide, I think. New Zealand, South Africa play in Sydney. I'll have to check out what is the rules for
First,
that.
I think, yeah.
Yep. So England is going to be your surprise element in this group. And India-England semi-final, well, even England have a burden of ICC losses against India.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at 2012 T20 World Cup, 2007 T20 World Cup, then you also got the 20, if you may say, 15, no, not 15. Those two World Cup losses in 2007 and 2012.
Prasad
And plus
Kulkarni has-
Champions Trophy.
Champions
final.
Trophy. I think that'll be fresh in the minds, yeah?
Yeah, Champions Trophy.
Yep.
Most of the World Cup maybe, but yeah, the Champions Trophy would hurt a little
In
more.
2019 was definitely.
Yeah, India's Kulcha duo were dropped after that mauling against England that they got. They have never played together since then.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So, why Wade is dropped? Sunil Lakshmi, no, Wade is the captain.
Wade's not dropped. Wade, in fact, the
Is
skipper,
there.
perhaps.
In fact-
Yeah.
So Prasad Kulkarni asks, can we play 3 spinners in semi-finals? No.
No.
Because
Big
you
no.
compromise your batting
Big no.
horribly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unless you're really going to back Ashwin the batter.
But you can't. You can't do that.
Yep.
No, that leads to the next question. I think there was someone asking, I don't know, just scroll up slightly. Someone was asking about it worked for Rajasthan. Go up. No, slightly higher than that. Where did it go? Can we play
Yeah, this one, Bhargav Narasimhan.
Yes. Is there a case where Ashwin and Chahal played together? Leave it Akshar. Combo worked for RR in the IPL, but that's IPL. Yeah, the international cricket will not work.
You're
Again, it's
not-
the composition of the team that
And
matters.
to be
exactly.
fair, whenever we were watching Rajasthan games, we always said they're one batter short.
Yeah.
They always looked one batter short because they were playing with 6 batsmen.
Yep.
And 5 pure bowlers. So their bowling got them to the final. More than anything else.
And they kept trying things out. Remember him?
They brought in Darryl
bat
Mitchell.
number 4. So all those things, the Rajasthan were always a batter and they tried different things to make up for that.
They knew they were a batter.
Indeed. So, we are all set for Australia versus Afghanistan. Remember, had Afghanistan chosen to bat, New Zealand would have been the first team in the semi-final, but New Zealand are all but through because I don't see Australia winning by 185 runs. And anyway, if you win by 70 runs, it will only put you just ahead of England.
And even that will be just ahead. England will fancy their chances.
Yep. So, Group 1, we will see by the end of the Australia-Afghanistan game whether we have a winner, semi-finalist, first semi-finalist. Your second semi-finalist you'll only come to know tomorrow. That is against England-Sri Lanka at the Sydney Cricket Ground. If Pakistan can lose to Zimbabwe, then you don't even, India can also lose. You
in
can't
fact,
underestimate.
we
Vaishnavi
may just-
Swaminathan, we are not underestimating. We are just saying that India look favourites.
We might just get clarity at the halfway stage because if Australia aren't scoring close to 250, then we know they're not going through at all.
Not happening. Not at all.
And or even if they score like 250, what if Afghanistan dig in, get about 140, 150?
Yeah,
It's a 100-run win.
It's a given that you can't let Afghanistan score
But
those
on
many
this
runs.
wicket, it was stopping a bit. I don't think it'll be easy.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Even if you have Cameron Green at the top of the order, doesn't
I think
matter.
the
It's
new
a bit
ball,
of a-
power play, 6 overs, that's it. And after that, against Rashid Muji, we'll have to be really careful.
because and even there, no, you're talking about power play. You have someone like Fasalak Faruqi who can
Faruqi,
generate banana
exactly.
swing.
Yep.
It's not
And
easy.
we have Cameron Green and David Warner opening the batting.
Number 42 is Green.
Yes, it's
Okay.
Green.
Okay.
So Green and Warner coming out to open, and let's see what Australia can do. Because if this is pressure, then Australia come up trumps in pressure games.
They tend to
This
have
is-
that tendency.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Green, to be fair, I was really impressed
but
by him during the India tour.
This time around, it's a big ask.
That's a massive ask.
Big
Not even
ask.
big. It's not even big, it's massive.
One loss.
Has really undid their tournament.
One, it's funny in a way, because they've not done much wrong except for that one game.
The
Except
other
for that
game
one
which they dropped points was England washout.
Exactly.
South Africa, hold my beer. 2007, undefeated until the game against India.
And then ended up losing out.
And they were out of the tournament. 2021, they lost only to Australia, South Africa. But the nature of that loss was such. They were eliminated.
And 2007 was also comical because even if they lost by a certain margin, if they got to like 120,
126.
yeah, they were through, but they didn't even get to that. So it's
They were
double
all out for
whammy.
116. That's how it is. Australia versus Afghanistan, the last game today, and tomorrow will be England Sri Lanka, and we'll know who the semi-finalists from Group 1 are. Group 2, very much open, can have India and Pakistan also. Let's see what that happens. So thank you, bye-bye. We'll be back for
The mid-innings
and
post-match
post-match
of course.
for
All of that
Australia,
stuff.
Afghanistan. We'll
Until
know.
then, like, share, subscribe to Sports Today. We're there on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter.
You're part of it.
Yep. Okay,
It's taking
bye-bye.
me time to get used to it.
Yes.
Anyway,
Okay,
Yeah.
bye-bye.
Cheers.
Vanakkam. It's a 50-50 match. Wow. Okay. This is what pressure and